The rain was a relentless, gray curtain, mirroring the dismal weight pressing down on Leo's chest. He watched it streak down the window of the small, dingy cafe they'd chosen for their meeting spot. It was the kind of place so devoid of character, so far from their usual haunts, that it felt safe. Anonymity was the cornerstone of their 2 years and 5 months together. 2 years, 5 months, and 1 week. Leo stirred his coffee, the spoon clinking a hollow, lonely sound against the ceramic. He was early. He was always early, a nervous habit born of a lifetime of hiding. He saw him through the rain-streaked glass, Ethan, walking with his head down, his shoulders hunched against the downpour. Even from a distance, Leo could see the tight set of his jaw, the rigid line of his back. He knew that look. It was the look of a man who was about to deliver a verdict. Ethan slid into the booth opposite him, his dark hair plastered to his forehead, his eyes holding a storm far more turbulent than the one outside. He didn't order anything. He just sat there, his gaze fixed on Leo, and the silence between them stretched, brittle and sharp.
Ethan.
Leo started, his voice a thin veneer of calm.
You're soaking wet. Let me get you a coffee.
No.
Ethan said, his voice flat.
I'm not staying long.
Leo's stomach plummeted. He'd known this was coming. He'd felt it in the shortening of Ethan's texts, the growing distance in his touch, the way he'd started looking at Leo with a weary, aching sadness. For 2 years and 5 months, Ethan had been patient. He had been the quiet, steady anchor in the turbulent sea of Leo's self-loathing. He had loved him, openly and without reservation, in their private world. But Leo couldn't let him love him out loud.
Look, I'm sorry about the other night.
Leo said, his words tumbling out in a rush.
I know I shouldn't have left the party like that. When Mark started asking about you, and I had to say you were just my roommate, I panicked. You know how it is. My family, my job.
I know exactly how it is.
Ethan cut him off, his voice laced with a bitterness Leo had never heard before.
It's the same story, Leo. It's been the same story for 2 years and 5 months. A story about a phantom and a damn secret.
It's not a secret, it's just private.
Leo pleaded, hating how pathetic he sounded.
You know I love you. It's just complicated.
You think I don't know it's complicated?
Ethan's voice cracked, a fissure in his carefully constructed composure.
I am the complication, Leo. I am the problem you can't admit to. You get to have me in the dark, on your terms, in a neat little box. But the second a light is shown on us, you shove me back inside and slam the lid.
That's not fair.
Leo whispered, his hands trembling under the table.
You knew what this was when we started.
No.
Ethan said, shaking his head, a single, bitter tear tracing a path down his cheek.
I knew what you were afraid of. I thought I could help you. I thought my love was strong enough for both of us. I thought if I was just patient enough, you'd eventually see that you deserve to be happy, that you deserve to be whole. But you don't want to be whole. You're terrified of it.
He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a fierce, passionate whisper.
Do you know what it's like to be loved by someone who is ashamed of you? Do you know what it's like to have the person you love most in the world act like you're a dirty secret, a mistake to be hidden away? Every time you flinched away from me in public, every time you introduced me as your friend, your colleague, it wasn't just a lie to them. It was a rejection of me. A rejection of us.
The words hit Leo like physical blows. He saw it all, a montage of their history flashing before his eyes. Ethan, waiting alone in the car while Leo went into a family gathering. Ethan, tensing up whenever they were in a crowded room and someone approached. Ethan, his smile fading when Leo dropped his hand a little too quickly. He'd always seen it as self-preservation. He'd never allowed himself to see it from Ethan's perspective, as a slow, agonizing erosion of his spirit.
I gave you everything, Leo.
Ethan said, his voice barely a whisper.
My heart, my time, my everything. I let you love me in the shadows. But I can't live in the shadows anymore. I can't be a footnote in your life. I can't be the ghost you're too scared to be seen with.
The finality in his tone was a cold, sharp blade. Leo's carefully constructed world, the one built on secrecy and fear, was crumbling.
What are you saying?
He asked, his voice shaking. Ethan looked at him, his eyes filled with a love that was now finally tinged with an irrevocable sorrow. He reached out and took Leo's hand, his touch warm and familiar, yet feeling like a goodbye. For a moment, Leo felt a surge of hope. He was going to forgive him. He was going to give him another chance. He would change. He would try harder. But the hope was short-lived. Ethan gently pulled his hand back, the gesture more devastating than a slap.
I'm saying I'm done.
He stated, his voice resolute.
I'm not your fucking shame, Leo. I'm not something to be hidden. I deserve to be someone's whole world, not their secret.
He stood up, the chair scraping harshly against the floor. He was done. Leo could see it in the set of his shoulders. It wasn't an ultimatum. It was a final, devastating truth.
Ethan, please,
Leo begged, scrambling out of his seat.
don't do this. I'll change. I swear. I'll talk to my parents. I'll tell my friends. I'll shout it from the goddamn rooftops. Just please, please don't leave.
Ethan stopped, his back still to Leo. His voice, when it came, was laced with a profound, soul-deep weariness.
You should have shouted it from the rooftops 2 years and 5 months ago, Leo. It's too late now. You've said it enough times in the dark to make me believe it, but you were never brave enough to say it in the light, and I'm tired of waiting for you to be brave.
He turned, just for a second, his gaze meeting Leo's. It was a final, heartbreaking goodbye. Then he walked away, pushing open the door and disappearing into the relentless, gray rain. Leo stood frozen, the sound of the door swinging shut echoing in the silent cafe. The life they had built, a castle of whispers and stolen moments, had crumbled to dust. He sank back into his seat, the weight of his own internalized homophobia finally crushing him. He had lost the most beautiful, important thing in his life because he was too afraid to be seen loving it. He had let the world's hatred and his own self-loathing poison the purest love he'd ever known. He had not just hurt Ethan. He had systematically, over 2 years and 5 months, destroyed the one person who truly saw him, truly loved him. And now he was utterly and completely alone, sitting in the wreckage of the life he was too afraid to live, the ghost of his own making. The rain continued to fall, washing the streets clean, but it could never wash away the shame of what he'd done. He had lost his love, not to a force of nature or a twist of fate, but to the cowardice that lived deep within his own heart.